And good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Franklin. Thank you for joining us on WWL Plus. The well-advertised setup for potential significant flooding across the area is beginning to take better shape. Now, a lot of rain has been developing out across south and central Louisiana and more development out over Texas. Again, what we're anticipating is several rounds of rain. What are very difficult with these type of systems is to see precisely when rain moves in and exactly where some of the heaviest of the rainfall sets up. Just know that basically the entire area is under a higher threat of flooding over the next couple of days. Precisely where some of the heaviest rain sets up is sometimes a bit of an unknown. Now, the models have been fairly consistent, and we'll take you through those in just a moment. We've already seen some scattered showers and some thunderstorms, and at times briefly some strong to severe storms. Had a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings issued, gusty winds and some small hail. And there is kind of secondary to the flooding risk, some of the storms that we see through the night tonight and into early tomorrow becoming severe. Lower end threat for severe, greater threat for flooding as we go through the night tonight. So here's the setup. Now, this model starts at 5:30 with bulk of rain out over eastern Texas and western Louisiana. Notice, though, the model doesn't really have the storms that are already developing across South Louisiana. So what we say is the model is not initializing perfectly. Does indicate that complex out to our west, but not really showing the storms that we already have. So keep that in mind where it kind of shows us dry through 10 o'clock. We will definitely have scattered showers moving through. The real flooding threat, though, arrives later on tonight. And it looks like, at least based on this model and a few of the others, rough idea of the timing, probably starting in our North Shore parishes after 10 through midnight. Now, this model actually kind of does weaken the storms as they move through. And then note, not quite as heavy on the backside. Another little batch from Baton Rouge to Lafayette and Acadiana is expecting probably some of our highest rainfall totals. Going past midnight, more rain setting up. Now, this is what we're going to be watching closely. Notice how it's almost like a little tail here that sets up. This would be training of rain through the overnight and early tomorrow morning. Exactly where a potential band of rain sets up will be some of our greatest totals. Now, this model is also indicating kind of another band setting up as we get into tomorrow morning, and then a little complex moving across more so the South Shore down toward our bayou and coastal parishes tomorrow morning. As we go later into the afternoon, we get a bit of a break. Now, we'll have some more rounds of some showers, but not as intense. And I think if we can get some breaks here later in the day tomorrow, that would put at least a little bit of a relief on flooding concerns. However, we are anticipating some of our greatest rainfall accumulations to occur between tonight and early tomorrow morning. And while we will still see some more heavy rainfall, I think the heaviest will be what we get tonight and into probably around the midday hours on Wednesday. Notice we start our Thursday rather dry, and as a matter of fact, I kind of lowered our rain chances on Thursday, at least this model not bringing in much. This is our precision cast IBM graph model. So it's indicating a drier day on Thursday. That would be great because we could still see another batch of some showers passing through on Friday. Although what we're anticipating on Thursday and Friday also not going to be as heavy. So what we're really going to be watching for are rounds of heavy rainfall. I think the heaviest will be what we get tonight and early tomorrow, but there is still the potential to add to those totals Thursday, maybe not as much, but even on Friday. Really at the moment through Thursday night is the main issue. That's when our flood watch expires. However, we'll kind of reassess. It may need to be extended into Friday. We will see. Rounds of heavy rainfall, a lot of that coming in tonight, tomorrow morning. So hopefully everyone is at home. The problem is the morning commute tomorrow could be an issue. And I do believe that neutral ground parking has been allowed for the overnight period. We're going to update on our newscast this evening at 5, but I do believe I just saw an email that says that that is being allowed for the night. Remember to download the WWL app, and on WWL Plus right here, we will have live radar streaming throughout the course of this event. So at the moment, all of us under a flood watch with overall about 4 to 6 inches of rain, and a lot of that may be what we accumulate tonight and tomorrow, and some localized. Now, this is kind of the high and extreme totals. Some models indicating localized amounts of 8 to 10 inches. That is a significant rain, and that could mean areas not prone to flooding could flood from this event. And again, it's going to be kind of a prolong. Now, this is not changed through tomorrow morning. We are under that level 3 out of 5 or 3 out of 4 risk for flooding. Now, this is new. You saw Alexander Cranford update this at 4 o'clock. The Weather Prediction Center, these are the folks that issue the flood graphics, the flood packages. They do indicate from Baton Rouge, kind of Acadiana, South Shore down toward the coast as well, a level 3 out of 4 tomorrow into Thursday morning. I think more of that will be tomorrow midday into the early afternoon hours. And you just saw what our model said, that if we get another little round of rain during the day tomorrow, a lot of that focus may be more on the South Shore. Then as we head into Thursday during the day, it's a lower end threat, 2 out of 4, and that does start to shift a little bit more to the east. And then by Friday, I don't include the graphic, but it's just kind of our coastal parishes that have a low end level 1 out of 4 for additional flooding. Now, overall, this is pretty much on track with what the National Weather Service is saying, 3 to 4, 4 to 6 inches, kind of overall, roughly 4 to 6 inches or so. But it's going to be some of those localized totals that could bring in some significant flooding. Now, totals that we're expecting of 4 to 6 could easily create widespread street flooding. It's going to be those localized amount that the flooding could be more of a hazard. Now, at least based on our high resolution models, they're not going quite as high. Now, they do still indicate some localized higher amounts, especially over Acadiana. They're just not going quite as high as what a lot of the other models are saying. So this is what is always very difficult with flooding type situation, and especially the type of system that we're looking at. Exactly where and when some of the heaviest of the rainfall moves in. Just know that the environment is very conducive because of this upper pattern for heavy rounds of rain. Now, as far as severe weather goes, as I mentioned, that's kind of secondary. There is a higher risk, a level 3 out of 5 for severe storms, and a hatched area that does include western and central western Louisiana through tomorrow morning. For us, most of us under a level 2. Slim chance of an isolated tornado. Can't never rule those out completely. Better threat maybe for some gusty winds as well as some hail as these storms move in. And then by Wednesday, notice again, remember that little round of rain that pushes on through? That could bring in a low end threat for severe weather as well. Again, severe weather threat Wednesday would be secondary to any kind of a flooding concern. Then everyone could see another chance of it on Thursday. Now, I was just showing you the model that had almost no rain around. We will see. According to the Storm Prediction Center, we do have a level 1 threat of severe storms. This pattern is why it's conducive, is because we are watching this upper level low, which will remain in a position to keep all these rounds of instability, these upper disturbances, the triggering mechanism for more rain to move on through. Now, if you were with me yesterday, it looked promising that this low would be moving to our east by Saturday and drying us out. Well, now the model, the Euro, is indicating this upper low is not going to be east of us. It'll stay west or right over us through the weekend, which means we'll likely stay under mostly cloudy skies and some passing showers. We don't clear out until maybe Monday into Tuesday, and that was what helps to bring in some less humid air. So at the moment, we may start to tap into that less humid air Sunday, but it's looking more likely to start on Monday and into Tuesday. We can expect some nicer weather. So at the moment, the flood threat and the severe threat is primarily for tomorrow and Thursday. We will kind of reassess if that needs to continue on into Friday, because we are expecting some scattered showers on Friday as well. Drying out, but still a few spotty showers on Saturday and into Sunday before that system starts to move out. So for the weekend, much drier, but still a few spotty showers. We will have a complete forecast as well as all the flooding updates on the WWL Louisiana coming up at 5, and we will continue half-hourly updates here on WWL Plus between 7 and 10 o'clock tonight.